How do you guys like this new curve? Sick, right? I've got it on the Ghost and I've got it on the AS6 Pro. I'm going for the true banana. About 4 years ago, CCM decided to release their first line of Pro sticks where the Pro suffix became the new standard in stick technology. And what we ended up with was the FT3 Pro, the Trigger 5 Pro, and the AS3 Pro. And those sticks were the first attempt at CCM to push the boundaries of shot technology. The caveat was durability was trash. The performance was the first step in the direction of what made CCM winning the stick wars today, but their durability is trash. And unfortunately, we have come full circle. What a fun start to the AS6 Pro too. Like, I got it. I actually liked the blade feel. I liked that it was lighter, and I started shooting with it, and the release was easier, had a little bit more pop, a little bit more power than the AS5, and I was kind of stoked. And I played 2 games with it. I got 5 goals. I was super stoked because I could do the big slap shot again, and I could still get some nice wristers off with a bit of a slow lag, but it felt good. And despite the shaft dimensions, it was a pretty decent stick. So I was actually getting pretty hyped up. I was like, all right, maybe the mid kick is back for CCM. And I went back to the bench and I looked at my blade and it was cracked after a big slap shot. And unfortunately, I think that's just where we are. And now I'm seeing online that the Trigger 8s are running into the same problem. So unfortunately, we are at a cycle, full circle, where CCM has durability issues, where they push the boundaries on blade feel. But what ended up happening is they've got durability issues on the blades. CCM being the current king of stick technology and pop and performance over Bauer, Warrior, etc., also makes them push boundaries on stick releases and then sometimes pull back when they run into manufacturing defects. And unfortunately, it looks like we're in the same cycle of 4 years ago where CCM is trying to push the boundaries on something, in this case, blade feel technology. And unfortunately, I think they're actually going to fail in this round of the generation of sticks in the FT Ghost and the AS6 Pro, and I'm pretty sure the Trigger is going to show up with the same issues. I just sold mine in too quick of a time to determine this. Is you're going to have blade durability issues, which are a manufacturing defect and are going to cause issues in the marketplace until the next cycle comes around. So what do I mean when I say manufacturing defect? A lot of the times when stick companies push the boundaries of performance, they try something new in hopes that they can find an extreme version of this. Boron being an example from Bauer, where the agent, depending on how you use your stick, had some durability issues. The True Project X, the Pro line I just spoke about with CCM. And now when we come full circle with CCM, we're talking about blade feel. CCM has stiff blades, at least in the FT6, Trigger 6, etc. And they're trying to find blade feel technology that works. The problem is sometimes when you go too extreme, FT Ghost, and now the helicoid in the AS6 Pro, is you end up with this. And this is disappointing because as great as these sticks perform, I can tell you right now these sticks are going to have durability issues. So this is the new tacks, that's the AS6 Pro, and this is only 2 games in. Now, here's something that I really want everybody to understand. This is on shots. This is not a high checking league. I'm 40, I play over 30s. I take lots of shots, but trust me, I'm no center and I don't check hard because I can't, because of rheumatoid arthritis. If I get hit or something, I'm toast. So at the end of the day, that's how I know these are durability issues on the blade, is just from shooting. Now add into a player that is way more aggressive than I am, checks hard, plays center, and this stick won't last. The Ghost was slightly more durable, which was interesting. I used it about 12 games. The AS6 Pro, not so much. So with the Ghost lasting personally a little bit longer, I still have this on my stick tier list and I still recommend it depending on blade feel. Now, with that being said, the AS6 Pro now unfortunately is the first CCM stick that I'm saying it's on my avoid list. And the reason is because of this. You cannot have a blade like this that's this fragile for a shooter's stick. It's not going to work. And when I'm taking big shots, big snapshots, wristers, and clappers, and I break the stick, it's going on my, unfortunately, avoid list. So durability on this stick, of course, is going to be rated as a 0, and that's going to drop it way down. When talking about this review, I'll quickly touch on everything else. But when you have an avoid stick, true hazardous, Bauer sling, Bauer ultrasonic, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, hyperlight durability issues, the end of the day, it's on the avoid list. The review is pretty simple. So first things first, I get my warranty returns from the hockey shop. They are excellent. They go direct to the manufacturer. The problem is I'm not going to get another AS6. I'm going to trade this in for an FT6 Pro because I know that will last me a little bit better with the stiff blade, because the last thing I want to do is be $400 in and I get this again. So I won't be testing this stick any further. This is the end result of what I am testing. Let's start with feel, weight, and balance, because they did try to improve this stick overall, and of course you ended up with this. And that's the problem, is CCM, I think, is going to figure this out. They're going to get a lot of warranty returns, and they will update the helicoid blade technology to be more durable, whichever it ends up in. But I do think that, unfortunately, the tacks, this is at the end of its rope, and it's probably going to be either discontinued, or you might get one more release where this is improved. Now, it felt great. I loved the balance of the blade in terms of how it felt, and the shaft was a slight improvement, and the weight was sitting at 380 grams, so it was a much bigger improvement, but with the durability, it didn't really matter. So kudos for CCM for trying, but you have a stick that is now going to need a cycle refresh very, very quickly. Shooting with the stick was okay. I actually enjoyed the smooth release on it. I actually got a 70 in this one this time, if you can believe that, and it made it very, very smooth. And unfortunately, if you like the Tacks AS5, you're going to probably want to stick with that, but this did have more pop. But of course, let's not talk, it doesn't really matter. Release on this stick, hopefully in the next gen, it improves with the increased blade, but at the end of the day, the release was really nice and smooth. It was a bit laggy. It reminded me of a little bit of the old school Total One NXGs with a very stiff taper here, and you can feel the lag in the release. Power was decent, but again, doesn't really matter. So much like the True Hazardous, the Hyperlight, etc., where you have durability and manufacturing issues, this risk is on you. I just provide the objective evidence of what took place. This is not going to be a one-off. I'm telling you right now, between the Ghost and this breaking, CCM trying to put feel soft blades to the market, you are going to end up with this issue. So it's something that you have to decide. There is better mid-kick sticks out there built for power. It's not really worth spending the $400 or $340 or whatever it is US to risk a blade like this cracking. So between this and, of course, the Ghost having the same issue, if you really, really want a blade feel stick, then the Ghost I still do recommend, as it lasted a little bit longer. But again, you're talking about not the longest durability ever, and that's kind of what happens with these sticks. So that's the review for this one, guys. I'm going to trade this in. I got a game tonight. I'm getting an FT6 Pro, and I'll be back to the stiff blade over the soft. Have a good one. Well, there's all the ASV Pros that or AF6, I guess I should say. Won't be recommending that stick, and stick with the Jet Speeds, which has the stiffer blade. Well, I'm at the hockey shop. I'm gonna exchange my fancy tacks. Let's see what is actually available here. Oh yeah, yep. I think we're gonna go with that. That's 70 Flex P28. We're gonna hit it up, get rid of this. It's the end of the review, guys. What can I say? I promise I will never cheat on you again, especially your stiff blade. I promise that.